Last night I got a phone call from a house full of Teds up in Manchester. They're listening to Radio Piccadilly. And when they told me, I just couldn't believe it. And what dawned on me, I really believe it when I could hear the lads on the other end of the phone crying.
Crying?
Crying. They're 30 years old.
Really?
They just crying.
I mean, did you feel as though...
I just felt empty, completely empty, as if one of the family had died.
About an hour later, I had about a dozen people were at my house, and we sat there. We were there the whole night. It was just massive. It was hysterical. It was everybody was crying and sobbing all night. It was, and the phone didn't stop ringing all night, and it hasn't stopped yet.
How did you personally feel?
As though someone had just kicked me in the guts.
We were all very choked about it. You know, I mean, to us, Elvis is the king of rock and roll music. And, you know, it's not the end of rock and roll, but it's certainly the end of what made rock and roll in the beginning.
I can't, since I can remember, I've known of Elvis since I can first remember. I can't sort of imagine life without him, sort of thing.
About 15 years ago, when the Beatles seemed to take the limelight away from rock and roll, I decided that I was going to have a symbol, something to remind me always of rock and roll. So I got a tattoo put on my arm, an Elvis tattoo, and I've carried it with me for the last 16 years.
I found the Presley record from the collection, and before putting it on, I attracted the attention of the crowd just by saying we got some of the worst news that rock and roll is likely to get. Elvis Presley's just died, and the pub everything just sort of stopped. You know, it just sort of, although you just sort of shook it sideways, and girls started crying, and some girls were, you know, quite hysterical about the fact that Presley had died.
This afternoon, we arranged with the church in Cockfosters to hold a memorial service for Elvis tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock. And the name of the church is Christ Church. It's Chalk Lane, Cockfosters. And all we can say is any Elvis fan who wants to come. Well, I can't imagine anyone not wanting to come. We're going to play his gospel records, and there'll be a choir and an organ. Most of us are like me for 21 years, right from the beginning, and we just can't remember a time when there wasn't Elvis. We just can't imagine what life would be like without him. We just can't take it in.